Hi guys, it's me, just Lucian again, and for this video, I shall talk about three topics that kind of upset me about the current president, and along with that, I will be putting these three things in order of the most offensive to me, and then I'll put them in the most offensive to the least offensive. Yeah, I think that's pretty fair. And with me, I have my famous Trump is tyranny sign, just to show you guys how these things that kind of upset me about him that he recently partook in. It shows how he's trying to infiltrate every type of facet of society, and it's really kind of jarring and really annoying that he's doing it. Like, just him. No other former presidents have done that. Even Nixon didn't even touch certain things that Trump is doing right now. So I know that Nixon was no angel or anything, but this is like kind of a big deal for us as a nation. So let me just say that in the course of this, people have had nicknames for Trump, for Donald Trump. You know, like I don't know, pick your own name, whatever that means. But I will come up with my own names for this guy, for these three events. Now, I think they're very fair and they're very they're homeless nicknames. Now, the first one will be Pope Trump. Now, I'm a Catholic. I'm a Roman Catholic. So, that means a lot to me. Even though I'm not really religious and all that, I still respect the Pope. I should respect my elders. I should, I respect whatever decrees that they make as the representative of God on earth. He puts in more of a human quality to religion, more quote-unquote secular reasoning behind the whole religious thing, but behind what the Bible says and stuff. So, the Pope carries a big responsibility in my book, especially if he's a good, noble man who does everything good and proper, and there's no scandals behind him, as I know that other popes in the past have done. And I believe that Pope Francis was actually a good man. He didn't do anything wrong. He did everything properly by the book, as it were. And he was just a real cool guy. He was beloved by the people. He was very respectable by me and by everyone else in my family. Speaking of which, funny story, but I actually have a family member named Aunt Francis. So that was pretty funny. And what's even more funny is that the Pope was from Argentina, which makes him the first Latin American Pope in the world, in world history. So that's something nice too. But the funny thing is that my grandfather, even though he was Italian, he was from Argentina too. My paternal grandfather was Argentine too, so that makes Pope Francis more of a personal connection for me, at least. So I just found out that he just passed away on Easter not evening or whatever that was. Fairly recently and stuff. So I, like many of the other people in the world, were very mournful about this. We were sorry to see him go, especially since he was just put into the he received his Pope duties somewhere like a decade ago or something, fairly recently. So it was a real pity to see him go, especially because he was such a good man, well respected, and progressive too. He seemed like a real progressive type person. So this week, past week that just came up, Donald Trump did something that was just so offensive to every Catholic in the world, including me, who's not really religious and stuff. But even I was offended by it. He claimed that somebody else put on an unofficial Twitter page and himself dressed up with the Pope in AI form, of course, but it would like that. So, okay, first of all, there are multiple things to this. Number one is the fact that he wants to infiltrate everything that we hold dear, whether it be politics, religion. We want to talk about movies and other facets. We've already seen that Trump compares himself to Jesus Christ, God. He even okayed a golden statue of himself so that people can't worship something physical for himself, which is very, very dumb and very, very expensive. No doubt it probably came out of some taxpayer money or something or other, or maybe a fundraiser for his campaign or whatever. Anyway, we pay for it. Not me particularly, but we the people pay for it. So that's something else too. Number two is, Pope Francis died less than 2 weeks ago. So it's very, very insensitive that something so fresh in someone's mind, and the fact that someone's hurting over this thing, he makes fun of it right away. Just no class whatsoever. Just like, oh boy, it's like those kids who always make fun of things because of the new hot topic and stuff, and no one ever told them, cut it out or shut up or have a little respect for that. That's Donald Trump. He was never told by his mother or something to have respect for the recently deceased. If my mother were his mother, or anything like that, he would, if you tell me, shut Joey, respect the dead, respect the elders, respect the dead, respect someone that's more beloved than you are. And, he would give me a warning, and she would give me another warning. Then, if I kept on being a little shit about it, she would smack me in the back of the head to get me to stop making fun of people to die. Because then I would remember from getting the smack in the head not to do that kind of thing anymore. But apparently Donald Trump never learned that lesson as a kid, because he keeps making fun of it and making fun of it and making fun of it and making fun of it, until some religious nutball is going to be like, you disrespected my Pope, and something bad's going to happen to him because of that. You know what? He got all to himself to blame for it. Let's see here. Also, if that had gone successfully, if that little joke of his would have gone successfully, he would have taken credit for it right away. But now that it's become vastly unpopular, he's like, somebody else did it. I don't know who did it, but somebody else did it. It was okay when I made fun of everything else on the sun and made those bullshit, mean pictures of myself, like as a superhero, as a firefighter, as a cowboy, and so on and so forth. But that's it. Somebody else did that. Okay. I also think that this joke could have been a kind of revenge for his when he went to go to the funeral for the Pope, for Pope Francis. He was mocked endlessly because of the fact that the man wore blue where everyone was wearing black at a funeral. I mean, come on, read the room, goddammit. You're going to a service for a dead person. You wear black. I don't care what you do. I think even his wife knew that better to do that. And third of all, again, this is a big one for me, but Trump is probably the most a religious president that you could ever think of. He doesn't even give a crap about holding the good book the right way. He'll hold that Bible upside down. Okay, that was an honest mistake. But then to say that you're the most religious person in the world, no, that doesn't work out too well. So that's one thing that I don't like about him. That was the most egregious and the most offensive thing to me. And I'm not really that religious myself, so as you can see from my other videos, I'm not really too religious that way. They just got under my skin a lot. Now the next part is Ebenezer Trump was one of these people called Donnie Toodles. And this is something that was squarely on him, and squarely on his policies of trading all of that, and his godforsaken fetish with tariffs and all of that, which I think might be on purpose, that he's going to try to weaken the United States in the long run, for whatever reason, for an invasion by Russia, China, whatever. But anyway, we know that now there's going to be a recession. What is very highly predicted that we're going to run into a recession in the next couple months or a year or so. So Trump like to brag that Tesla's the best thing for us and all of this other junk too. So many of the people who voted me believed him on that, saying that tariffs would be good for the country and blah blah blah. Whereas, if you want to do tariffs, there's a very specific way of doing it with to benefit the country, not to do a blanket tariff on all imports on to the UK or China or Finland or Russia, or everywhere except Russia, or like everything from I don't know, Egypt or Nigeria, somewhere like that. Yeah, that's not the way to do it. He basically bottled everything up. That's the least of it. But let's see here. There was so there will be a big threat on empty shelves because of the fact that even if Trump were to reverse all of his tariff policies, if he would put trade back to square one again, back when Biden was in charge, or even before that, whatever, there will still be a disruption in the supply lines. So therefore, there will be many things on shelves and whatnot that are there now, but again, three or 4 or 5 weeks, they're not going to be there. It'll be just empty shelves. The cupboards will be bare, to borrow something Trump said about Biden. And this is what happened during the COVID. But that wasn't really Trump's fault. At least not 100%. The response to him and the government was 100% his fault. But the fact that there was a disease running rampant in the country wasn't his fault. As much as we would like to believe it. So anyway, there will be a supply chain issue. So many of the shelves will be empty. So this will probably continue on until maybe Christmas or beyond that. So that we're not gonna be able to afford we're not gonna be able to fund our Ninja Turtles like figures, or our Dragon Ball Z figures, or our Turbo Man dolls, or Barbie for all intents and purposes. That's fine. But then Trump says, that kids will be able to will get by with just getting 2 dolls instead of 30. Okay, first of all, I was a sport kid when I was growing up. My parents spoiled me a lot. I would get 30 action figures or 30 video games for Christmas. I'd be more like a modest 10 or something like that, something smaller than that. And pretty much, there goes Christmas for all little types, little kids that want to get something for Christmas, because everything will be so much money, or they won't even be on the shelves to begin with. But then Trump also said that that we're gonna have to just settle for getting 2 presents for Christmas, not necessarily dolls, but two gifts. Now, I personally don't care about dolls or any type of figurines that meant dolls. I'm more mature. Yeah, I know what I'm trying to say here. But, I mostly use these toys for props and things. So, no big deal. But the fact that he probably said that, and the fact that many of the people are lower income or medium income or less than that vote for him, is kind of telling that he doesn't care about anybody but himself. And he thinks that everyone is going to be fine with just being able to afford toys and, lower amount of toys for this year, He's the only president in history that says you're going to be able to only afford something, let's say $5 or something, and you're going to like it. whereas every other president was like, abundant, we come from a land of opportunity, and, bigger is better, we buy in bulk, that's that type of mentality, but not Trump. Trump is like, you're gonna be happy with what you want, and you're gonna like it. Or else, I'm gonna have something to say about it. So, beyond toys, because toys are mostly for kids, nobody really cares about that anymore. But if you think about the larger scope of it, if you think like, say, groceries, toiletries, things like school supplies, like notebooks, notepads, pencils, pens, backpacks, and whatever, what have you. So basically, Trump admitted that the supply chain is ruptured or broken. So it's like you're gonna like it. You're gonna get less opportunities, less things you can buy, less things you can purchase, and you're gonna like it. You're gonna suffer through it. You're gonna suffer through my pain. You're gonna suffer for the pain that I inflict on you for my gain. That ain't right. That ain't right. That we gotta suffer because of his boneheaded, stupid decisions. Then that ain't right. That we gotta pay for more money for groceries and more things for important stuff like that we need to survive and things. Medication too. He's got no problem with that. He's got no problem with free medication because he's loaded with money. And also, I thought that he was supposed to be the president who was supposed to bring back Christmas. We're all going, oh, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Xmas, and all of that jazz. But then he said you can only buy a certain amount because of the supply chain issues that I caused with China with other shipping stuff. And another thing too, he said that most people can go out buying old junk that they normally would buy useless crap and junk and stuff. Not like fidget spinners, dolls, toys, etc., video games and whatnot. Because those are like beneath me. Oh yeah, by the way, you want to buy this mega hat for $60? You need that. You need to buy a mega hat. You need to buy Trump 28 flags, stickers, truck nuts. You need to buy sweaters with my name on it, with my face emblazoned on them. You need to buy fight like hell, that's up Liberation Day merchandise. That you need. How much you want to bet that he's probably gonna put gonna advertise for stuff made from Russia or something like that. So that brings me to my next issue, my third issue, and that being it's least offensive to me. And by the way, the Christmas thing was more offensive than this, but less offensive than the Pope thing, because I understand that Christmas is important to some people, and it's especially children. I mean, there's a common guy who took away from childhood cancer charities. I mean, who does that besides the comic book supervillain? So anyway, my next thing is my least offensive thing about Trump this week But the fact that he just put 100% tariff on all of foreign made movies, which is painfully stupid. Because, seeing that Hollywood and American cinema is being decimated by foreign influence and foreign films and whatnot. Last time I checked, Disney was doing good, except for a few little hiccups here and there. With the Marvel movies and such, they're doing pretty good. Warner Brothers doing pretty good. Sony doing very good as far as movies go. So I would say that that's a big pile of BS right there. Saying that we're under threat by a bunch of foreign companies and foreign businesses and movie companies. Because things like Bollywood, for example, or like anime culture and Godzilla movies and things of that nature and sort. They're like a big thread for us. We should be scared. We shouldn't watch any of that. That's poison for our young impressionable minds. We shouldn't be influenced by any outside the country, which is completely bug because the world is big and vast, and there are multiple cultures, multiple languages, multiple different actresses and whatnot, and actors of different ethnicities that are just as good as anything Hollywood can dig up. So the fact that Trump only wants to focus on American cinema, just stupid and wrong. I never seen a president that wanted so much to emphasize American cinema before. And this could possibly be because director Trump is also a movie star. And used that word very liberally because he's basically a glorified cameo at this point. I wouldn't be surprised if people were to just use that for if you were to give discounts to movie studios for movies that involve him or his wife or kids. And then he wants to be a movie director. Yeah, I know if someone else would want to do that. Kim Jong-il, I think his name was. He wanted to produce just foreign movies. Movies. And he wanted to become a movie star and stuff. But just produce like a North Korean version of it. With praises all the good things about North Korea and the leader and all that jazz too. So that's kind of bad too. But also this whole thing about the foreign terror and things like that Trump is trying to promote by saying that that foreign stuff is bad for our young impressionable minds. Actually remind me a lot of, say, what happened during the Red Scare with McCarthyism during the early to mid 50s, in which Senator Joe McCarthy said, that you're liberal, you're in the union somewhere. You must be a communist, so you must be bad. You must be evil. You must be whatever else. Any other type of bad terminology for it. So you gotta be banned. It's basically like that, but mixed in with with the whole kind of cinematic ban old foreign stuff. The only time that a foreign country was able to get into China and sell the product was when Disney made the two Mulan movies and the Great Wall movie. And that wasn't made by Disney, but you get the idea, right? So, the only reason why they did that was because those three movies. Sorry. Those three movies emphasized Chinese character, or they involved the Chinese cultural thing, like the Great Wall. The movie itself bombed the time, and it was an awful movie. But the two Mulan movies, they did pretty well over there from what I hear. So other than that, most foreign films are banned from there, especially Hollywood movies. So that's like what Trump is doing, well, for the entire world. Also, North Korea, there is no official, allowance for foreign movies into North Korea. DVDs have different coding on them for North Korean type systems, so they can afford them and all that stuff too. So I think that's what Trump is trying to do. Trump is trying to make it so that the only way that we can get foreign films like on black market sites, like in North Korea or China for that matter. Eventually he's gonna make it so that we can't even communicate online with like our relatives and friends in other parts of the world, like Italy, for example, or Japan, or some of us like that, which is really sad. Now, that's 100% terrifying for movies. I don't know how it's gonna play out for someone like the movie is made in America, but they're filmed in other parts of the world, like for example, Mission Impossible movies, or say somewhere that filmed in, like say China or Taiwan or somewhere like that, or Mexico or something. So I don't know how that's gonna play out. More elsewhere too. I don't know how that's gonna affect Netflix prices too, because many of the things that are Netflix are made in other parts of the world, like India, China, Japan, especially anime, etc., etc., etc. So with these three things about the Pope, about Ebenezer Trump, and about the director thing, Donald Trump is single-handedly trying to take over every facet of our society, whether it be politics, religion, entertainment, or whatever. He's trying his damnedest to make sure he leaves a stamp on our society, whether good or bad. No other president has done so, good or bad. The president has to be good or bad. So yeah, I would say that this is a very big problem, and I guarantee you that he's not gonna stop. It's only been like a little more than 100 days into his second term, so I guarantee it's gonna continue and get worse and worse as the years go on. So I don't like it one bit. Next thing you know, he'll probably tell Florida or he'll terrify video games or something else. When's it gonna stop? When the terror fetish gonna end? I have no idea, but I thank you for watching my video on Pope Trump, or Pope Donnie if you prefer it. Also, my video on my little segment on Ebenezer Trump, Mr. I'm gonna say Christmas and that kind of thing. And we don't need expensive junk, but buy my hat, please, or buy my mean coin, or buy my $5 million gold card, or whatever they're trying to sell next. Or, I don't know, how about a Trump condom? Yeah, that's a good one. Or Trump, Trump car or something like that. Only $1 million a piece. Anyway, what about Director Trump? Come see my newest Trump movie about the fearless leader. Only $50 a pop for tickets, and you even get the crab sheets in the back, and popcorn will be only $20 a head too. So it'll be a bit of fun for everyone involved, especially me, the leader. So anyway, I think I'm watching my little 3 segments, and yeah, it's like Dark Side from the Justice League cartoon, not the movie, the cartoon. Anyway, if you like what you hear and you want to see more of my videos, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. You can also call me or text me for any input on my future stuff by calling me or texting me at 631-707-3707. And if you want, you can always reach me at my you can follow me on Twitter or X if you prefer at PNelsonPro. Also, you can get my email at jjviewchannel@gmail.com. So, actually, everyone who thinks that this is kind of questionable, his antics and his childish ambition and joking around and stuff with each being an adult about everything and not think of everything as a joke. You know, if anyone were to insult himself, that would be a serious crime, I know, but because he makes a joke at someone else's expense, it's okay, it's fine, no one's got a sense of humor about them and that kind of thing. But, yeah, peace out, my brothers and sisters. Ebenezer, ciao ciao, sayonara, to all you girls and guys in the land. See you in the next video. Aloha.